Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Noah from PhoneDog.com, and this is the enV3 from LG and Verizon. And in a nutshell, it's a great phone if the enV Touch is sold out at your local Verizon store. No, for real, it's a nice little messaging phone, but considering that it sells for $80 on contract right now through Verizon, and the enV Touch is only $20 more at $100, unless you really like the size of the enV3 as compared to the enV Touch, get a better shot there. There we go. Or you really like that front-mounted keyboard, get the enV Touch, and not because of the touchscreen. For two big reasons. One, the enV Touch has an 800 by 480 display, whereas the enV3 has a 320 by 240 display. So it just looks, the enV Touch just looks nicer. I mean, no matter what you're doing, it just looks better. I'll load up a web page here. Second reason is because the enV Touch has a real headphone jack. So if you do want to use it as a music player, you can just, get right into your headphones or plug it into your car stereo or home speakers or whatever. The enV3 has a 2.5mm jack, so you'll have to get an adapter, which isn't that big of a deal, I guess, but just, when you're buying something new, may as well get the best thing, right? And for my money, again, just $20 difference through Verizon, maybe even less if you find it through a third-party retailer. It's just a nicer phone. You do have on the enV Touch, you have dual, this is almost turning into a dogfight, and I didn't mean it to be that way, but you have dual 840 by 480 displays, and better camera, 3.2 megapixel autofocus with the Schneider Kreuznach lens versus 3.0 megapixel fixed focus. Both of them have a flash. Neither one's the best camera in the world, to be frank about it. But really, it just comes down to, it's a full messaging phone, and the keyboard on the enV Touch is a little bit bigger, and the 800 by 480 display just a lot nicer. That being said, the enV3 itself is a nice little phone. It's it's compact. It's a little bit nicer looking than the enV2. The enV2 looked a lot like a scientific calculator to me. The enV3 a little bit nicer looking, the rounded D-pad on the outside. You can do a little bit more on the outside with the menu system. We'll get rid of that light there. There we go. The menu system, a little bit more you can do from the outside. And you can get into, we'll show you, we'll go to messaging here. So from the outside you can actually compose a message using the T9 style. And then you go into, on the inside you've got the full QWERTY board. The QWERTY board on here is nice, the D-pad works well, it's big enough, but again, just for the money you step up to the enV Touch and everything's just a little bit nicer. And then you do get the touchscreen on the outside, which to me, the touchscreen itself isn't, it works pretty well, but it's not that great. It's better than the Voyager for sure, but not on par with the new capacitive touchscreens on some of the smartphones that are out now. But mostly what this means is you can do more without opening the phone up on the enV Touch than you can on the enV3. I think I just decided this is actually a dogfight and not just a review of the enV3. Because that's just how it rolls sometimes. You get into it and it changes. Also a big thing, speaking of web browsing, the enV3 is EVDO, the enV Touch is EVDO Rêvé, or some people like to call it EVDO Rêvé. So you're going to get higher data speeds on the enV Touch than on the enV3, which is big as well. Again, unless the size really bothers you, you can see the enV Touch is slightly larger than the enV3. Unless the size really bothers you or you really want that external keypad and not a touchscreen keypad. Also, I was going to say get the enV Touch. Another reason to do so is that the menu system is just nicer on the enV Touch. You get the LG menu system, which is just a little easier to read, more options, takes advantage of the wide screen, the higher resolution, whereas the enV3 has Verizon's kind of standard interface there. And I could go on and on, but it really, I just, unless you really want to save the $20 or you really, again, prefer the enV3 form factor. The enV3 is definitely a solid messaging phone. Personally, I'd say it's a no-brainer to get the enV Touch. Much more on these phones, all the new Verizon phones, all the new LG phones, everything else we can think of on PhoneDog.com. I'm not trying to cut it off early, I'm just saying, I'm going to keep repeating myself. enV Touch is your winner. Alright? No hard feelings, enV3. We'll see you next time.